cool. So
This came in
I'm
with that.
recording now, and it's supposed to tell you that I'm recording to the legal.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
I can't see myself. What happened?
You can't see yourself?
I gotta switch my screen up. Okay, there you go. Now you're good. You were split screen or something.
Yeah, it should be split screen. You should
All
be
right.
able to see. Can you see me full screen right now?
Yeah, and I'm just a little guy in the corner.
Yeah, it should be that way.
Okay.
Oh, man, I think we're going live. I don't know whether you're watching. Oh, yeah.
Why would anyone watch?
Because. All right, Proctor, thanks for coming on my podcast. This is the second time around, and it's social podcasting, distance podcasting. With
Distocast.
Kent Proctor.
Special guest.
Yeah. Squamish and Whistler. It's not very distant, but yeah, man. Thanks for coming on my show. I was cool that you texted me to come on the show. We were trying to figure it out for a long time, but it has been a long time. You were like one of my first real guests.
I think so. I don't know. He was into it, and I was kind of like, is he really doing this thing? And then I think I watched the show, and I'm like, yeah, this is for real. So I'll get in on it for sure. I don't want to miss what's happening here.
Yeah, it's pretty good. No, the first one's good. People liked it. You got one of the more watched episodes, I think.
Yeah, I think my intense privacy settings and all my social media really helped that out.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you were driving.
All my non-followers. That's right.
Who's joining us? Oh, we got Ty Clavette happening here. We got Frankie. I know everybody, actually. Hey, everyone. This is my brother, Proctor. And this is, I don't even know what episodes it is. I haven't done one in so long. It's like episode 34, maybe. But
we should just go with that.
Yeah, maybe 34. You got a beer or anything, man? What are you doing? You just hanging out?
No, I think the deal was you're supposed to crack it on the show, right?
Well, that doesn't really matter.
But as we discussed earlier, my outdated Skype and my technical difficulties really pushed me to open it about 10 minutes before we joined up. So,
dude, your last login on Skype was 2010, you said?
I don't know. It was before, like I said, I didn't even know Microsoft owned it. I had to create a Microsoft account, and I was like, what is going on in the world, man?
Right.
Everything's changed.
Microsoft. So I bet you Microsoft owns everything, man. They own vaccines and everything.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, 10 years on Skype. I bet because you had to wait. There was like half an hour of updates going on or something, right?
Yeah, kind of. I think I tried the Wheel of Death thing a few times, and then I gave up, and then went back to the classic reboot everything. That didn't help, as typically happens. So then I reinstalled, which did seem to help, and that's what led me down the Microsoft path to relaunching my my account. So, and
well,
then,
now here we are, man.
Here we are.
We are. Yeah, we are here. So, everybody's talking. I mean, we're probably gonna end up talking about this current issue in our lives, I guess. But, how's family life going, man? How's you're not really around to homeschool your kids, right? But that's what's happening right now.
Yeah,
you're working. You're still working, right? So that's good.
Well, there's two things. One thing with this isolation thing, or with this social distancing thing, got me into some stuff that made me want to get back on the podcast. Right. So I can talk to you about that in a little bit. I'll go over what's going on here. This is because we're about as typical family as you can get.
Yeah.
Maybe not, but yeah, because the homeschool thing is insane. Just how much fell on somebody in a household. Here it's not me, it's my wife, who's Angie, who I have no idea how she found the extra gear to take that on, because two little kids full time is a big deal. And then, oh yeah, by the way, they're not going to go to school. They're going to be with you all the time, 24 hours a day, man.
Yeah.
You're going to wake up, they're going to be there. You're going to have lunch, they're going to be there. You're going to go to bed, which sounds amazing, but there is a limit. So I'm not really sure how people handle that. Angie's doing a good job. But I think the school system here, like they pushed out a lot of good help, and like with online resources and home education and stuff to really help people get going. So I don't know. There's a lot of good that came out of it. I think for us, the kids have been hanging out together more, which is good, and we're hanging out as a family more, which is good. But yeah, the homeschool thing blows me away. For me, I'm still working, so it didn't really. And I'm not the most social guy, so a lot of guys I work with, it kind of fits in. We're like, yeah, man, this is actually, this is okay. I can go for a while. Yeah. As weird as that sounds, but yeah, so we're just working away, and it's good.
Yeah, because
happy to be working, thankful to be working.
I
Good for
mean,
you.
my nephew there, he seems like you're saying he's learning to talk pretty fast. You think because it's there's so much going on in the house and there's always somebody there. But if you were saying, and maybe I just heard this or I don't know if I remember this or not, but I might have been baked. But I think you said something about he's like learning to talk pretty fast, maybe faster than what he would have.
Yeah, I think it's
Because he sounds like he's almost carrying a conversation for the most part.
yeah, there's probably two bits to that. There's the developmental piece. Maybe he's there at that point where it's okay, I can figure out all my words and stuff.
Right.
But I also think that a lot of kids, when they're spending more time with their older siblings,
Oh, who's super
rather than
chatty.
rather than kids their own age. So, kids in preschool or whatever, they're spending the whole day with, 3, 4 year olds, 2 year olds, whatever, and they're all at the same level, talking the same language. And then you take
Right.
that same kid who's ready to learn or talk, and you put them in with a kid who's like 3 or 4 or 5 years older than them,
Full
plus the
time.
adults, plus everyone's FaceTiming and Zooming and everything else.
Mm.
You're always talking to somebody. So I think it's been cool because he can talk, and he tells you what he wants, tells you what he doesn't want. He's commentating all the time. It's pretty good. So
Yeah, he's pretty funny, man. Yeah, I mean, I have no idea. Like, I live solo, so I have no idea what it's like to live with like a bunch of kids. But we've been talking a bunch every time we FaceTime. It's cool because I've been FaceTime with like even just other friends I haven't talked to in so long. Like Matt McIsaac and a few friends back in Ontario. I haven't talked to them randomly.
yeah,
We've been talking like every other day. FaceTime party. People I don't even know. I go on these like these 6-person FaceTime calls with a bunch of his friends. I have no idea who they are.
yeah,
It's pretty interesting. It's funny how that would never have happened if it wasn't
no,
if it wasn't the case. So as much as like keeping me like inside and stuff, and I go and do things, but it's interesting how it's expanding the social network through social networks in a time where you're kind of pent up in a space that's like my apartment, 900 square
yeah.
feet, just like
You can't
a
actually
crazy.
network.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah,
I think it gave people a lot of time, which right out of the gate, everyone's like, yeah, this is gonna be so much time on our hands, and you think it's gonna make you a little bit crazy. And I can't imagine, like I said, I can't imagine your situation where you've got all this time and space, like you're in your own home, but there's nobody coming and going, and you don't have to be anywhere really. It's a really because a lot of people I work with, you call them up and we're used to getting together and talking and stuff, and it's like, no, I haven't left my apartment in like 2 weeks. You're like, how do you do that? Like, so
yeah,
it's a weird thing. But then yeah, I think the other side is you get all this time to connect with people that you probably want to, but didn't really have the chance. Now you're like, I've done my list, man. I've
yeah,
counted my rolls of toilet paper. I've painted
yeah,
my house 3 times. I can, you know, I can do my dishes with 4 times a day, and now I got time on my hands. I'm gonna call somebody. You know what I mean? I think there's
yeah.
that
It's
progression. But
You
anyway,
mentioned paintings. I've painted my house. I painted 2 walls of my house so far. I'm doing like little bits at a time when I have time. But yeah, it's cool, man. I know it's interesting. It's like I mean, there's so many people talk about it so much, and there's also so much news about like what's right and what's wrong. And I deal with a lot of people in Ontario, and things are a bit different there. But
yeah, we're lucky here, to be honest with you. I think.
yeah. But you build a sandbox on the weekend for your kids, or
Oh man, what have I got going on now? Yeah, since we're at home all the time, you can't go to. It was a big deal when they closed the parks, right? And you're like,
yeah,
you
right,
go to the park, and we're like, hey man, don't lick the slide, don't lick the slide. What are you doing? Like, don't touch it. And so then you pull the kids off of that, they close them up, and you're like, okay, that's awesome. Except now you got nothing to do. So yeah, I scrounged it up. We got the sandbox going. The kids are into that. We got the jungle gym thing, which we had already, but they're using it all the time. And people are just helping each other out. So our neighbor is like got a daughter, I think, who's probably just coming out of backyard playing age,
hmm
and she's
yeah,
like, I got this swing set. I don't need it. I don't want it. Anybody want it? So we were like, yeah. So I go grab it, put it back together, tweak it a little bit, tighten it up, and the kids love it. And it's like, I don't know that those sort of things, the sharing around the community would happen as much if people weren't like, conscious of someone else's situation, right? They're like,
right,
that person's got 2 little kids crushing them all day long. They could use a
yeah.
half an hour break with a swing set. So there you go. So it's kind of cool. I mean, that was pretty good.
Yeah, I think that's what's cool about this. Like it's almost like we're deciding that there's more important things. Obviously, if you're not affected by it, you're healthy. And if your focus isn't trying to be healthy, but if you're getting more affected by the way you interact with humans because we're being told to not hang out with people, whether that's right or
Yeah.
wrong, I already believe it or not. We don't have to hang out with people, but you want to. I mean, once you can't do something, it's like when you're in class and something's funny and you're not supposed to laugh. You're like, it makes you laugh even harder when you're in school.
Yeah.
Now it's like, don't talk to anybody. You're like, well, I want to talk to people. You've realized once it's been taken away, that's
Yeah.
how important things are.
Yeah, I think for me a little bit it's kind of the flip side. I'm kind of like, all right, everyone has to be like me now. They're gonna come home and hang out in the basement,
Right.
not
Right.
talk to
Yeah. You're
anybody.
like,
Like right
yeah.
on, here we go. The world is uniting under this.
It is funny
No,
if you're already a recluse. Like, I live on my own. I don't really. I mean, I go out a lot, but like, man, I'm just. If you're already in like an isolated person, you're either good with it, or once the option's taken away, you
yeah,
don't want to do it anymore. You're like, I need to get out and talk to people. I need to
yeah,
do
yeah,
things.
yeah.
Yeah.
But you see
I find
people
I
not.
have.
Sorry, you see people not being able to handle it. Like you see people like, they're trying. You can see them like maybe okay. They start off with like, hey man, I'm 2 meters. Okay, okay. I'm like, what? 187. I'm getting closer. I'm like half a meter. I'm like, I'm right there. And it's like, whoa, because
Yeah.
they can't help themselves, right?
You know
And
what's
like,
funny is
boom,
like I go to the grocery
hilarious.
store and all of a sudden the 2 meter barrier is out the window. Everybody
Oh
waits in
yeah,
line at the grocery store. You wait 2 meters apart, and then you get in the grocery store and it's just like,
yeah,
I'm like, excuse me, pardon me, you're still in the same kind of walk by people, and uh,
yeah. It was
yeah,
good early on, but it's getting worse now. I think people are losing it a bit,
yeah.
and it's been a while. It's been a long time, so
What's it been like 5 weeks? Is that right? How long's it been?
I think it's like 7. I think since the
There was that one weekend that you and I went for a bike ride before it really all started, and that was the last time I actually came down and saw you guys. I was probably like
yeah,
in March.
yeah, because the kids got out for March break, and then we were like, okay, and then I think maybe other provinces were saying, okay, you're not coming back to school. Like this is it. School closes.
Yeah.
You're done. They were saying here like, okay, well we don't know yet. Like okay, and I think they made the call halfway through, and then I think we officially sort of here we're saying, okay, it started, kids spring break, whatever day that was, like 13th or something. Anyway,
Yeah. It's like he just gave me the finger. Fuck you, Pete. But I'm waving to him anyway. I only got two people are watching this right now. It's a shame. I'm gonna end this right now. Bye.
we're
Thanks
killing
for
it.
thanks everybody. No.
We lost all the viewers all that quickly. Holy smokes, man!
I had
Boring.
14 viewers.
Down to 2. It's amazing.
Just get bored of it. Yeah, man. Like, so I think you said you had some stuff you wanted to bring up.
Yeah. So the thing. So I was a big Netflix guy, and then I didn't do Netflix for a long time because kids and everything else. It's hard to find like half an hour or whatever. But like you said, this whole thing is like you got a bit extra time, right? So I'm playing around and stuff, and I tried to watch comedians in cars getting coffee like 5 times because you kept telling me it was awesome. I know you're a big Seinfeld guy
Yeah.
and all that sort of stuff. And I've never really been. I mean, I enjoy laughing and stuff, but I've never been a comedian guy. And so I don't know which one it was. I just started right from the beginning. I started watching, and he starts talking about comedy as like a way of life almost,
Okay.
and a lifestyle, I guess, and the way comedians see the world. And I was like, okay, like, yeah, it's funny. This is definitely funny. But then I'm starting to appreciate like the whole idea of comedy. And I'm like, I need to get on and talk to Ryan about this because it's like, it's interesting and I appreciate it now more than before. Obviously, Seinfeld was a great show and everything. But I'm like, maybe I understand or maybe I can see why you're so into it or we're so into it. I don't know if you still are. But
Oh, man, that's all I do now. That's all I watch.
like, it's pretty funny. Like the way they view the world and they take that apart and just sort of, hammer away on stuff is hilarious.
Well, everything's kind of absurd. Like everything they look at, like even if like they talk about like in tragedy and all these things, but everything is so absurd if you look at it a certain way, right? Like like socks can be fucking absurd, or like whatever you're doing can be strange. And I think that way outlook on life, it's so funny to me, and I love to hear when comedians talk about when they're not being comedians, they're just talking to other people and they talk about their insight, how they see things.
Yeah.
It's almost that's so entertaining to me because I feel like there's like the heart of this, like you just think there's an absurdity in everything for the most part, and things are pretty funny. And honestly, like what's better than laughing? There aren't, I mean, maybe sex, something like that, but like when you're laughing, man, there's fucking nothing else matters, right? When your mouth's open and you're laughing, your hearing goes away, right? Like it's like when you yawn, you can't hear things or whatever.
Yeah.
And when you're laughing, everything's blocked off. Even the joke that's happening, like when your comedian's talking, they have to have that pause because the laughing's in the way. If they keep talking when the laughing's happening. So I don't know. I just think that nobody gets enough laughter. Some people are like, I feel like some people are like kind of like shy to laugh. They don't want to laugh because they feel vulnerable when they're laughing.
Yeah, that's true.
But man, I just think laughing's awesome. Like I laugh at it's just like even like you watching you laugh, it makes me want to laugh. You know, like even like
Yeah.
I don't know, but I felt that you're getting into comedy because you know, I think like a 2 second smile can change your day, I think, you know.
Yeah. And
Like
I
a
mean, this is a time in the world when people need a bit of that, I guess. But
yeah.
it's pretty good.
Well,
Um,
a lot of I'm waving to everybody. We got back live. A lot of people have a lot of comedians have put specials out on Netflix recently, and I guess the numbers are pretty strong because everyone's just watching it, right? Like that's all everybody's doing.
well, you got so yeah. They talk about it's like I guess it's like me. They talk about having to get the audience right. So you're in whatever doing some stand up, whatever you're doing. You got to get the audience engaged, right?
Yeah.
Like into it. But now people got nothing to do. So they'll
Yeah.
they'll hang on for something, right?
Yeah.
You could be dying for like 20 minutes. You give them that one little thing, and they'll probably be grateful because they're like, man, I'm so bored. I got nothing to do. That one little bit was awesome. But
It is. Yeah, because like I said, like laughing takes away your concentration. Whenever you're laughing, you can't concentrate. Whatever you're just like it blocks everything out, and that's something I never really thought of until, you know, not long ago. I was like, when you laugh, there's nothing that gets in the way of it when you're laughing. Unless somebody punch you in the ribs, or, you know, you step your toe or something like that. But like
yeah,
for the most part, if you're laughing at something funny, usually when you laugh and you're watching something, you got to rewind it to see what you missed because you were laughing so hard.
yeah. That's why I think you can watch some of that stuff over and over again, and you're picking up different things, right? The nuances of it and stuff like that. It's pretty funny.
It's like
Like the
watching a
one,
funny movie.
the one I can't remember which episode it was, but they were like obviously they're in cars
Yeah.
and they're driving along, and he's like, it might have been it was Jimmy Fallon, who I didn't appreciate before. Like
Yeah.
I knew he was good and sort of stuff, and I kind of lost track of SNL for a while and whatever. He's like, they're like that's an original 1960 whatever Cadillac, and Fallon's like, that's the original driver.
Yeah, yeah. He's like
Little stuff.
160 years old.
I just
Yeah.
kill myself laughing like little stuff like that. I would not normally find funny, but I'm like, that's hilarious.
The one thing that's tough is
But
that a
anyway,
comedy does come at the expense of things sometimes, like a
yeah, yeah,
joke,
yeah,
you know,
for
but
sure.
it's dude, that's all I do. Watch I mean, I watched Groundhog Day. I think I watched it twice a day for like 2 weeks when the first thing first started.
It's
It felt
hilarious.
so it felt so comforting to watch it.
Yeah.
And then Bill Murray just dude, that guy is so funny, man.
See, they got to get that guy in. Like, I don't know. See, I don't know what's. I mean, whatever. It's not in seasons, right? They didn't organize it in.
Yeah, it goes in like this Comedians of Cars and Coffee goes in like it's like 6 seasons in a row. So he films like 7 of them or 8 of them, and then he goes on the next one, right? There's no like
Yeah, but it doesn't say
just
season one, two, and three. It says like light, dark. It's got this weird thing on Netflix. I can never
sure,
figure out
yeah.
where I am.
I
So
don't
anyway,
know.
I don't know if they've
Yeah,
got Bill Murray on there, but they definitely he would be amazing. I think he would be pretty funny.
dude. Yeah, you know what surprises me? He hasn't had Costanza on only one time as a spoof for the Super Bowl, but not as a real. He had him
Oh,
on as
really?
George Costanza. He didn't have him on as Jason Alexander.
Oh,
I don't know why I did that, but he's never been on since, and it's had like Elaine and Michael Richards on.
yeah.
Um,
Well, the Kramer one was good because he had to sort of talk about that.
Being a racist.
His and he explained it. He's like he had that whatever day, a bad day, and he said I just lost it. Like whatever his real thoughts are, you can't
Yeah,
speak to that, but it was pretty. Like I was like, are they going to talk about this or not? Are they just going to make it nice? And they didn't. They went right at it, and I was like, that's pretty good. Like
yeah.
anyway,
It's pretty cool. I have a question. Did you wear that shirt specifically for this podcast, or what? Did you put it on?
no, this shirt was for we had a Cinco de Mayo party today,
Oh, because it's Taco Tuesday too at the same time, right?
right? This was a big deal, and I also find that when your kids are home all the time, these things become a bigger deal. So we had like decorations, we had hats, we had all this stuff.
Right.
And then I was wearing the shirt after bedtime, which of course all dads basically fall asleep during bedtime, so they wake up kind of disoriented, wondering what's going on, what time it is.
Yeah. Right.
And like, where am I supposed to be? I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do this. I'm like, oh, I'm wearing the shirt, man, because like it's the good time shirt. So hopefully this
Yeah.
will be a good time if it fits. But
It's funny. I didn't really clue in that it was Cinco de Mayo, but I bought some burritos the other day, some frozen burritos, like as quick snack, and I had one, but I didn't realize I bought the gluten-free one. I didn't know that was even things you could do. And I got this thing. It looked like a piece of cardboard. So I feel like when I ate it today, now I'm looking back on it, the fact that I didn't realize it was Cinco de Mayo, and then Taco
yeah,
Tuesday at the same day, and the fact that I had a burrito that was made of gluten-free, I think I just ruined the theme of the whole day without even knowing it.
it's okay. My daughter Josie assured us that this will happen again in 2027.
Really?
So
Did you write
so
that down?
I'm gonna write that down. If that happens in 2027, if it's if it's Cinco de Mayo on a Taco Tuesday in 2027, I'll probably just drop
Did she
open.
hear that somewhere? She just make that shit up.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm leaving it up to fate or something to figure that out. Because it's pretty funny. But
Yeah, I think
just delivered it with a ton of confidence. I'm like, oh, this is probably true then.
it's
Yeah.
funny, man. Kids are hilarious. Like kids have this like they just say stuff and it can be so accurate and so wildly inaccurate at the same time.
Yeah.
But dude, if she's right, 2027, 7 years from now,
Write that down, everybody.
maybe you won't. Maybe you'll go into Skype again for the first time, 2027 again.
I'll log in again. Write that down also. Let's
Dude,
see
it
what
looks like you're gonna answer the phone and be like, "Hi, how can I help you today?" And they get shit on by somebody for their internet not working or something. The way you got the headphone jack on.
That's the best. Yeah.
It looks hilarious.
It
You know
is.
what?
The call center equipment is coming in handy.
Yeah. I wonder how call centers are going right now. I wonder what people are calling because everyone like call centers right now. Like all you can do is call. Like I hear like people are going for like CERB, like the Canadian Emergency Relief Fund.
Yeah.
Imagine those call centers
Oh.
or whatever. Like no
Oh,
one's
yeah.
getting through. I see things on Facebook where it's like I've been trying for like 3 days. I've been on hold for like 24 hours, like literally. And I don't want to. It sucks. See comedy. It's not funny.
That's where
It does suck.
that's where it comes in because you can picture a guy on hold, nowhere to go, just cruising around his apartment, like
Smashing the phone and like on Facebook and like no one's like how
That's
hopeless
so
are you when you're on hold?
you're right, and you hang on to that connection for like dear life. If you call a credit card company or you call the TELUS or Rogers, whoever, and you get connected.
Yeah.
You're hanging on. You're like, there's no way you're hanging up, and you get
Yeah.
madder and madder, and it's like the guy
And
at
then
the other end.
there's some
is set
dumbass
up-
voice that goes, "We appreciate your patience and please wait." You're like, don't just say that anymore because we all know that's bullshit and you've been
Yeah.
using that recording for 30 years.
Your call is
Just-
important to us. I love that.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Like it should be like to hear comedy, press 1. To hear, long screams to soothe your
Yeah.
pain, press 2.
That's what you should do. You should like listen to Proctor's podcast. we will
Dude,
break in when
you
your call is ready.
Imagine you could say a company pays you to put your podcast on the hold, so it's like elevator
there you
music.
go. That's good.
Holy
That's what you
shit.
do. There's an idea, man. You're done.
Everyone would hang up. They would actually probably a good idea. Everyone just fuck this, and like, everyone gets off this and doesn't want to join. They're like, we're hanging up.
This guy sucks. I can't take it anymore. I'm outta here.
Yeah, that would be awesome, man. If you want to hang up, just put my podcast on.
Yeah.
I think
that's how you pitch it to the businesses, right? You're just like,
yeah. Well, podcasts are going off right now. Like I'm watching a bunch of them, and everyone's doing these Skype ones, and you don't get as many views because it's not as like visually stimulating, I guess.
wow, there's more to choose from.
You know what? It's helping me. Like I haven't done a lot, but when I do them, it's like it helps me like because we're just kind of. I mean, we're not really. I mean, I can go out and do things, and you can kind of see friends from 10 feet away and stuff, but it's hard to have these long conversations with people because everyone's just passing along and stuff. So it's cool to. I mean, you and I can talk on the phone, and we have like my niece and nephew Josie and Johnny running around. And we're trying to talk. I stare at the ceiling because they put the phone down and stuff. But,
That's the best, eh? Johnny,
yeah,
take
like
the phone. Boom, there you go, man.
yeah,
What
he's
does that
like
look like?
staring at his forehead for like an hour while he's running around the house. And then they fight for it, and then they don't even want to use it once they get it. But it's been
the
helping
best.
me a bit because I work all day, and I have like just the idea that you were like, "Hey, you want this podcast?" I was like, "Yeah, man, for sure I do," because we just talk about random stuff, and laugh and everything else. And I think that's like gets you out of the regular every day.
Yeah, for sure. Because it gets monotonous, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Are
that's
you,
that's the comedy thing. Like you're going back to that again. It's like you take the everyday life and they look at something in a different way, and it makes it at least entertaining for a little bit. You know. You just have to look at it in a, I don't know, and step outside of your normal routine and look at it like, I don't know, like
You got to be kind of have a bit of a dark side to laugh at things. To
Yeah.
make comedy, I think. I mean, you laugh to bring people joy, but you kind of got to have a bit of a dark side to find that kind of humor and like the absurdity in things.
yeah.
But dude, like thinking about getting bored, like I'll be in my house and I'm like, why am I in my bedroom? Like out of nowhere, I'm just standing there. I'm like, man, I gotta like I should get a glass of water. I think like you don't have anything to do but just decide what to do in the next 10 seconds.
Yeah.
And I always I find myself like standing in my kitchen, go, what am I doing here? And then I just like,
Check out for a while. Oh, I'm back. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I was working for so long. I was sitting on I sit on my island in my kitchen, and I sit on like these little stools that I have. And
Yeah.
my feet were perched up on the little bar on the bottom.
Super comfy.
Dude, my legs both fell asleep, dead asleep. And I went to get up today, and I was like, oh, my legs felt like they were on fire, and I was laughing so hard because I couldn't walk, and I couldn't move my feet. Like when you can't touch when you fall asleep, you can't touch it.
So you're trapped
Both
you're
I couldn't
trapped at
I
the
couldn't
island.
touch the floor. I couldn't get off the stool to fix it. So I sat in the stool like with my feet freaking out. I was like, it was so funny. I was there for like probably 3 hours straight.
You got to make the 911 call and be like, hey, I'm trapped on an island.
I'm trapped on my island. What do you mean?
They're
Yeah,
like, what? No, I'm in my apartment.
my
I'm
legs are
trapped on
dead.
an island.
Yeah,
Sir. No, seriously.
my legs are dead.
That
Oh
would be
man,
fun.
do you I've been falling asleep on the couch, just like waking up like 4 in the morning, going like, huh, like what's going on? Like I have no idea. I'm just
Oh, I
like,
got into that for a while, yeah.
yeah, it's tough, eh? Just couch
What-
sleeping.
Couch sleeping in jeans. That's one of my favorite things, but not under the circumstance.
I'm trying to put a new dent in a different part of my couch right now. Like I've
Yeah,
always sat in the same
break it
spot
in.
for real. There's like the choice spot, so I rearranged my living room so that I could sit so it's like a different orientation, so I can sit in a different spot on my couch.
Yeah,
And now I'm sitting across from it. I can see the dent and the new dent I'm making.
yeah, it's awesome.
It's progress, man. You don't want to wear your couch in one spot because if you got like a
Yeah,
pristine couch in one fucked up spot at the other end,
yeah.
yeah,
It's not gonna be comfortable. You,
yeah,
you gotta think of how many people have done that, like rearranging and decorating and stuff. Like the a paint store that we work with, part of our company deals a lot of paint. Um, as soon as this thing happened, they were so busy.
yeah,
And like, cause everyone's just hanging out. Okay, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna paint something. I'm gonna redecorate. I'm gonna move my furniture around. Like,
yeah.
I bet that is the number one. Well, it's got to be high up there in the things that people were doing. Are
Well,
doing. But
yeah. Somebody was telling me the paint stop. I took my the phone or the phone. Fuck.
because you did that, right? You painted around. You were saying,
I had, yeah, I painted my apartment on the island the same color as my house, so I had
you had the paint.
leftover paint. Yeah. But I stopped. You know what sucks, man? Is I did like I fixed a bunch of holes in the wall where my bike was hitting and like Levin was living here, so like pedal marks hit the wall and stuff like that. And so I
Yeah,
fixed it all. It looked sick. A couple of days ago, I leaned my bike against the wall and it fell over and put a huge scratch.
yeah, that's
So I
it.
gotta go
That's
do it,
so
like
awesome.
do it all again, man.
That's a Costanza right there. Something
Yeah,
like that's pretty good. Yeah,
yeah. I
huh,
think.
it's good.
Well, there's just like people doing chores and people doing like so much creativity going on. But
That's
I
true.
would love to
That's
know
true.
how much data is being used.
I had this weird thing. We were when it first started, we were trying to make phone calls at work, like on the cellular network, whatever it is. I don't know. And it kept dropping. Like, your call fail all the time. You have to call like 10 times. Like, just couldn't get a connection anywhere. And it
Really?
would depend. Yeah, it would depend. Like, we try to call like to like Langley or whatever. Around locally it was okay, and then you try to call somewhere and it was like call fail, call fail. You have to keep pounding on your phone to get it to go through. And now it's fixed, except you get like, it'll just say British Columbia. Like, it won't say the call ID won't register.
Oh, really?
And then, yeah, and then it'll say like like Aldergrove, wherever. It won't tell you where. It's really weird because we're still paying for all that stuff and all those features. But yeah, so I guess it's just like everyone's on, right?
The system's getting worse.
Everybody.
Yeah. I wonder if it's
Yeah.
gonna fail. I wonder if like the internet's gonna shut down or something.
Yeah. Well, they're gonna upgrade it, I guess, to that whatever 5G
5G.
thing. So then we're good to go, I guess.
Yeah, I think that's in like 4 countries right now. I don't know how prevalent it is, but it's happening apparently. It's all that same
Yeah.
conspiracy stuff. Like people say everything's whenever something comes out, someone's like it's wrong or it's gonna kill you and stuff. And I'm always curious if that's even like who knows? Nobody knows how accurate this stuff is until it goes sideways 20 years later and go, yep, they were right or they were wrong.
Yeah. Should have listened to those guys.
Yeah,
They-
damn it.
Those guys with all the education, the technical guys, should have listened to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you had your bug out at all, man, for this time? Driving around?
No, but I've been watching the car shows again, back into the TV thing, and I'm like, I gotta get it rolling. So I did charge up the battery and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's on my list. It keeps getting closer. The last time I had it caught on fire, so I'm really a little bit.
Oh yeah.
I'm a little bit leery to fire it up again.
Yeah.
No pun intended, but
Yeah.
hopefully
Like
it
what's
goes.
speaking of watching car shows on Netflix, what's the weirdest show you think? Are you like going into obscure things now, or are you just like you're on Netflix anyways? You're probably just like getting into the.
I'm
things
just
like,
happy. I'm just happy to get to watch something, right? You get
right.
because like I said, for me, like the weird thing is a lot of people are like, I got all this time, right? I'm doing all this stuff at my house. I'm working from home, and we actually got busier at our shop because it's a
Yeah.
construction thing, right? So we thought we were in trouble, and then we got super busy. So we've been working a ton, having less time at home.
Hmm.
But yeah. Later in the evening, I'm trying to get the Netflix things going. No, I'm still into those car flipping shows a little bit. They're pretty good. But I watched the first episode of that Jordan one. The Last Dance.
Oh yeah, it's good. Hey,
It's
yeah, if
pretty
you're
good.
into basketball, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the thing is, like, everybody knows who he is, right? Like those scenes. I only watched one episode, but he goes to France or something, right? And it's like basically the world knows who this guy is. That's got to be the weirdest feeling ever, and he seems to handle it really well. Um,
Because that
but yeah,
happens
it's like,
early on.
wow. Yeah, he's like, I guess he's in his early 20s when he has like his breakout year or something, and then he starts winning the titles, and then I mean, I guess they unveil the story. Everybody knows the story, but yeah, I can't imagine how you deal with that. Like, you can't go anywhere. You're probably in a situation where you're in your house a lot, right?
I guess
Same
there's
deal.
things too, like when you're a superstar and you're coming up a superstar, maybe like unless you're like somebody who's like late bloom or something like that. But if you're in university, he was crushing university and everyone knew he was, and he
Yeah.
probably got used to a level of fame in university. It was like it's like a step like
Yeah,
high
you're
school
right.
was famous, so maybe 1,000 people in high school think he's make him famous. Then he goes to university, 10,000 people know him, and then he goes from university to minor league or summer league or something like that. Is there even a minor leagues? No, it's the university of the NBA, right? There's no minor leagues. But then so
Yeah.
I guess there is a progression that you get used to, but at
Yeah.
some point it just blows up. Like
Well, how do you?
it probably goes from, when he wins his first dunk contest and his first major win, then he goes to his first world championship.
Yeah.
Even though the Olympics,
Oh, I think it's insane. Yeah, I think that was they won on the Olympics. I think after his first year or something, or after his
92 I don't
yeah.
even know.
No, he's still an amateur. I don't know. I mean, I'm just going off the details of the show, but then, yeah, then he's huge. Then he's super famous, and you're like, well, how do you go globally famous and having like some kind of real life, like, and he doesn't seem to be that screwed up. Like you hear a lot of, like big time celebrities and stuff go through all these weird things. They can't handle it, right? Which doesn't really surprise me. But yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, it's going to be a good story. So I'm looking forward to that. I got like I don't know what, it's 5 or 6 episodes long, so that'll keep me busy for a while. But
I wonder what the ratio is of people who are famous athletes who are in the structure of a game and the structure of a coach and a team compared to someone who's a famous actor who's got an agent and exploitation is big. Like,
yeah,
I wonder what the ratio of mental instability is between professional athlete who gets famous versus you have standouts, like Rodman, who apparently was less of a loose cannon than I thought he was. Like when they portray him pretty positively in that show. If you watch the whole show, there's like an episode. They portray him pretty positively, other than like wanting to go to Vegas. I don't want to ruin it for you, but
no, he goes away with his girlfriend for the weekend or something, and they freak out on him.
Carmen
That's pretty
Electra.
famous. It's a pretty famous story.
Yeah. So I'd be curious what like if the structure of a team and a coach of that whole lifestyle that way keeps you from going less batty than someone like,
someone who's just sort of a solo act, like a musician or entertainer or whatever, and they've only got their agent to look at them. Like, because if you're Rodman or somebody, like I think it was, and you're out there being a wild card, let's say, doing whatever, having a good time, and then, Jordan calls you up and says, "Hey man, get back to the gym. We got to practice." I mean, what do you? You're probably gonna say, "Okay, all right, I'm on it. Like I'll be there or whatever."
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're on your own, I don't know. Maybe you don't have that. You got to have the good network around you, I guess. But
For sure.
Yeah, and you must have had. You had anybody sort of semi-famous or famous on the podcast? You had some pro guys and stuff, right?
Well, I've had the mayor. He's fine.
They never touch on that, I guess.
Nobody really like.
Well, I mean, career-wise, you've run into like some pretty somewhat famous people.
Yeah,
right?
but people, and then sometimes it's like the small-time people who are famous in small-time towns get more of an ego than when they're big time. Like, if you're a big fish or like a big fish in a small pond or a small fish in a tiny pond, if you're a small fish in a tiny pond, I think you get a different scene going on.
That's probably true.
But this in a town like this, like it's probably more of like the rock star thing than it is the athlete thing, because maybe not nowadays, but back then when like snowboarding or skiing was more like less discipline. I don't even know this. Maybe I'm way off, but like seems like the elite of the sports, skiing and snowboarding, are very disciplined now because it's like become such a big time thing, like Olympics and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm use Sean White as an example, but like people who are like very training, whereas if you're competing, it's pretty structured, I think.
Well, I think there's more money probably. The the access to money is very guided now. It's not like I remember watching a documentary on I can't remember what it was, but like companies would all of a sudden get big fast, and they were run by like people from the
Yeah.
industry, I guess. And then they'd throw down, here's $100,000, man. Like,
Yeah.
go for the season, make a video or whatever. And guys would just be like, you know,
Yeah.
whatever. And there was they just probably through connections and doing something insane and getting some footage of it or whatever, and then sending your VHS tape to the right guy or whatever at the time.
Yeah.
But then you'd be a rock star for a while. Then maybe I don't know, maybe you burn out after, and you're kind of like,
I bet there's
selling
probably
shoes.
a pretty imbalanced ratio of those who made money and kept it, and those who made money didn't keep it.
Yeah, it's hard to keep for anybody. Yeah, you're right. I think
Yeah.
you're right about that. Yeah.
But I don't know. Like, I think in a town like this, let's say, for example, it's like being a musician where you can get caught up in the party scene and stuff, and you might just lose that. Their life gets kind of taken that way.
Yeah, right.
But I never really met. I think there's definitely a threshold. But yeah, I think the impact on your mental state as a professional athlete versus a musician is probably quite different. I don't know though. Who knows? Like I can't even imagine what it's like to have 65 million followers on like Instagram.
Oh yeah. Well then, and the Bulls thing was even before social media. That was all just done through like whatever
Regular
TV
media.
and winning, right? Yeah, newspapers, TV, and maybe there was less to choose from for people. So if you do get big, it's all focused on you. But
Yeah, because there was probably like 10 famous people at a high level, and the rest were kind of here. Now there's like everybody's here. There's still people up here, but more people are here because the globalization of being able to meet people and like everything else.
You got access, yeah.
There's probably more people with 1 million followers than there ever was.
Yeah.
And if you can somehow equate 1 million followers now compared to your fan level 20 years ago, probably not even close to comparable.
No.
It would have been like 1,000 followers versus national TV.
Yeah. Yeah. And speaking of stuff that sort of catches my attention on Netflix, I like the rock documentaries. Like the old stadium bands and stuff. And you think about that, like those guys, or those people.
They were gods.
They were but like you only get to pick from the people that are put forward by the record companies, right?
True. Yeah, that's right.
So there's like, okay, there's going to be 20 bands at some club somewhere, and the record executive goes down. And he says, I like those two there. And he goes, signs them up. So then you get to see those guys. You never get to see everybody else back then.
Right.
So of course you can have stadium, rock bands because there's only like 10 of them out there, let's say, or 20 popular in the world.
Yeah.
So you're going to pick them, and then all these people are going to go down there because it's the only thing they got. But now I think there's so many genres and types and people to choose from and whatever else, make your own music. There's all kinds of things. So you can't get that mass that would fill up a stadium. Like, it's really hard.
Yeah, because you're now everyone can watch 20 bands. They're not forced to watch one. But the level that there's probably a median level that's higher. Like now, not anybody, but more people can get to a certain point.
Yeah,
I think that's like that next level. But you're right. In the 80s and 90s, even early 2000s.
Yeah.
If you weren't on a radio station or didn't make a CD, you couldn't make a name for yourself.
Yeah. So people making it now huge is pretty impressive because they have to be that much better to hold an audience when you've got so many other choices, And it's pretty.
Think about those guys, like, dude, on Instagram, I'll be looking. There's guys with like, I've never heard of them before, and they have like 50 million followers. And I'm like, who's this person? I'm like, what? And then they're like, this. And also too, like, when I was going to college, my buddy Paul Morris, he used to go to Myrtle Beach every year and work there in the summertime. So he's like, 25, well, maybe 20. Around he's a little bit older than me, but anyway, he went to Myrtle Beach every summertime, and he worked at a head shop down there. And he was like, man, have you heard of this band Tool? I'm like, no. He's like, oh, they're so crazy. And even System of the Down, he's like, oh, they're so good. I'm like, I know who they are.
Yeah.
And he was talking to me all the way through college about them before I heard about them.
Yeah.
And when they got here, they were already massive. I think the U.S. somehow, they have a way of bands can get massive before anybody hears about them. It's like, there's a Fred Armisen stand-up comedy show on Netflix. It's called Stand Up for Drummers. You should watch that, actually. It's awesome.
Yeah.
He's the guy from Portlandia.
Oh, yeah. He was just, I just
saw
him on Coffee.
Yeah. So,
pretty
dude,
funny.
his stand-up special, you had to go in and you had to play a drum beat to get into the show. It's called he's an incredible musician.
Oh,
Like,
really? He looks like he
and
might be. Yeah.
yeah,
Anyway,
and he's so funny. And so, where was I going with this? Fuck. Um,
getting famous in the everyone's gonna get famous in the U.S. before they get famous anywhere else. Gonna get big time down there.
yeah.
I think it's because they have the massive people and the consumers will eat it up right away. Like you got a lot of people that will.
They have
Yeah.
3 million people down there who can make somebody famous before we even hear about them.
Yeah, because that's the thing. The flip side is true. You can get famous here, and you got no
Like in the
money.
Tragically Hip, no one gave a shit about the Tragically
Exactly
Hip
right.
in the U.S., but they
Yeah,
fucking loved Rush.
yeah. Rush is pretty good.
Well, everybody loved Rush south of, I don't know,
Yeah,
Kentucky or whatever down there. But
yeah.
what was I getting at? Damn it, the Fred Armisen thing. Anyway,
Mm.
his comedy show's good on Netflix. You should watch it, but I forgot why I was saying it.
So anticlimactic, man. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
sorry, Ruben. This is my podcast. Just Conversations Die. That's what it should be called. The Dead Conversation Podcast.
Yeah, casually dead
Yeah.
conversations.
Yeah, I don't
Where's
know.
Where's the banner tonight? I missed the banner. What happened to it?
Well, I don't use
The
it.
backdrop.
Yeah, because I don't. I realize that if it's just this kind of Skype podcast,
Yeah.
it doesn't balance it out. Like I end up having a banner, and you're like in your room. So
I was gonna make one. I had this little thing made up, and then I was like, I'm late, man. I can't figure out my Skype, so I'm like,
dude,
I was gonna draw one up, but then it would have been me. See, then it would have been the flip in the seats like we talked about. Next time we'll do that.
I would have been.
Flip
Dude,
seats.
I would have been so stoked. Would have been sick.
Yeah, I got the paper and the marker over there, and it just didn't. Classic. It just died.
Just
Same
make some
thing, right?
Shit banner. Yeah.
Little
Dude,
scribble on.
what I should do is just take a picture of it, and then
Yeah.
you could use it as a, because you know how you can make your own Skype backgrounds now, or you put on like in a green screens behind you.
No idea how to do that. I just logged into
Dude.
Skype for the first time in 10 years.
Yeah, so I guess it's Zoom now does it, but you can like.
Yeah, I heard that green screen thing.
We use a thing called Microsoft Teams for work all the time. We're on meetings and you can have conversations, but they have these backgrounds. You can put like Hawaii behind you and stuff, but it's funny. You're in a meeting and someone just clicks the button and all of a sudden they're like sitting like this. Everyone's like, "Oh, come on!" And they start laughing. And like
You should just do like boardroom every time. Like I'm in the boardroom.
So funny, yeah. It would be great to have some kind of like motion where it's like you're falling and everyone's like, "What's going on?"
Yeah, that'd be pretty good.
Yeah, man. It's really cool that I mean, going back to this whole thing about talking to people and stuff, and it's good talking to you, man. It's cool because I think it's like, we get so distracted, and like I know when we're hanging out and stuff, there's so much going on. But the last time we've had a conversation, maybe biking, we're both out of breath. And
Yeah, I'm definitely out of breath when we're biking.
yeah, but it's good to like.
I think it's good. It's good. I think a lot of people are doing it, and I think I don't know, your podcasting it helps facilitate a conversation, which is really nice for people.
And I'm surprised what people's motivations are. Like, what's your like? When you said you wanted to come on it, I was like, I wonder what they think the benefit is. I know we're brothers, I love you and stuff, but I'm just wondering like what the benefit is. Like, are you on a podcast? Yeah. Like, are you like, oh, I want to tell people stuff, like, oh, I want to get something off my chest or whatever else. Like, then it ends up we end up chatting, but.
No, I think I'm banking on the fact that you'll get minimum viewers for this one. So it'll just be a conversation between us,
right, yeah,
more or less, except for the two people who didn't drop off the Instagram. They probably switched over right away and they're hooked.
Well, dude, the first one's good, man. The first one, people liked it, so.
Well, then no, I think it was the comedy thing. I'm like, because right away I'm thinking I'm liking this. I don't know, I didn't get it before when you're talking about it, and I should have listened to your opinion. But it's cool, and I wanted to talk about it, so that was the big thing. And then just catching up in general is good. So.
You know what I like about this stuff is that when I listen to comedians and I watch comedians in cars, and I watch like pretty much my go-to now is pretty much all podcasts that I watch a lot of. It's because I like the comedian, the host, and sometimes the hosts are annoying, but the podcasts are happening so many now, and the ones I watch are all, it's like an incestual kind of like, everyone's kind of on everybody's podcast, and down in California where I watch them all.
So I'm sure it's hurting for content.
Yeah, and the same stories get repeated a lot. Everyone's like, why are you repeating a story? But when friends get together, everyone goes, remember that time? And they all tell the same story over and over again. Like, we'll tell the story of like, whatever it was, like the mustard across the kitchen hitting me and like exploding, right?
Or your pet monkey man.
Yeah, my lies. That
was awesome.
Lies. So those stories get told all the time. And I'm like, why is everybody complaining? Because that's what's the reminiscing and the remembering of those good times. So on the podcast, you have these times to talk. And why I like them is because you think you know people. You get to know people. Like I've had people tell me how that even though I don't know, I get messages on YouTube and stuff. They're like, "Yeah, your podcast is funny. It's not doing, but I feel like I know you." And I'm like, I
Yeah.
don't even know who this person is at all.
Who are you, man? You
But
creep
then
me.
I talk to you, who I know really well.
Freaking me out.
Yeah, and I talk to you, I know really well,
Not
and
that.
I could know you better. You know, like there's lots
Yeah.
of things for years we didn't hang out, and people assume that you just know your siblings in and out.
I don't know. Like because you spend, and the older you get, the more time you spend. Like you still like everybody else. You're like, you know each other really well, and then you go on with your own life, right? And
Yeah,
you go do your own things, and it's just how it is. Like everyone's got their own.
yeah,
You're not going to stay together forever. And not to keep bringing up the family situation, but we put our kids in the same room, not locked, by the way.
right, yeah,
Sometimes it should
right.
be locked sometimes, but it's like they're in there,
No, you
they're
have
living
to.
together, and it's good. Like they're a little bit, spaced in age and stuff, but they've connected at a young age, and I think that 'cause we never shared a room, I don't think, but we definitely lived across the hall from each other,
Hmm.
and that doesn't go away, right? You get that kind of connection. And I think for a lot of people, it doesn't work out, and they're just they don't connect ever. They just go their separate ways, and that's it. Because I think that what's the saying, like you don't choose your family or something, choose your friends, not your family, something like that. Anyway, but yeah, I think it's good. Family, this whole thing again gives family a time to get together and catch up on a phone call or whatever. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I love watching them because like I think about you and I as brothers when we were kids and like instigating and like one of us would cause trouble, then
oh,
blame
they're
everyone
doing it.
else and whatever
They're
else.
doing
And
it. They're starting on it now. It's hilarious.
yeah, I watched like she's like, Johnny, don't grab the camera or the phone, and I'm like, here we go.
Yeah,
It makes me laugh because he's like, there's the consequences don't exist in their brain, and the motivation's almost instinctual before it is like any type of like decision making process, right? Like
yeah,
I'm gonna grab the phone. I want to
yeah,
talk now. And you're like,
yeah,
what? And it's like, what? And I'm
yeah,
like, here we go. And then you got to kind of give them both shit because one's instigating it and one's reacting too much. And you're like, hey, come on. Like
yeah. It's you
it's,
got trying to teach them. That's the difference. Like I think old school was like you beat on one of the kids. You're like, don't take the phone. Right now it's
someone's
like
to blame.
you
Right.
gotta sort of help them understand. And the thing is that they understand a lot more than you give them credit for. I think
Sure. Yeah.
when 30 years ago, when people being parents, they didn't give kids a lot of credit for understanding stuff. At least not most people. But now, yeah, they're. I mean, you can see it. You watch your kids, and they're smart. Like they get it. They got a lot more. They always can't verbalize it or articulate what they're trying to say.
Hmm.
But yeah, they really understand when Johnny's taking that thing away. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah. Right.
He's not messing
So
around.
funny, man. He's just like walking away laughing. He's like, and it's funny because he kind of has it together with the phone. He kind of gets it.
Yeah.
He doesn't, it's really funny to watch, man. And it's like,
Mm.
I'll stare at the roof because it makes me laugh so hard. To like this, like I'm like, this is super funny, and it might just be like,
Yeah.
or I'm like, it goes black because the phone's under a cushion or something like that while he's doing something
Yeah.
else.
Right.
Yeah, it's funny, like thinking about what's going on in our lives right now and how it's like somewhat historical, whether it's right or wrong, or whether like we're being hoaxed or not, but what's real and up.
It
This is
happens. It's
definitely
happening.
a
Yeah. There's no
scene.
question of that.
I
Yeah.
think everyone, I'm just, kids will look back on this, and I wonder what they'll think.
We have
Because the
and
hardship's not there. Like when our parents went through like the recession and depression stuff, like things were like gnarly. Like
yeah.
we
Well,
don't
we
even
talked
know.
we talked about that. Like so, grandparents. I guess people now. If you had grandparents when you're growing up and they went through the depression, they would a lot of people that we talked to, they would they'd have like 1,000 cans of tomato soup in the basement or something. They're just like you never know. Like we got
Yeah,
stock. It's a
yeah,
cheap deal. I
one
bought
shot.
20 of them because you never know.
Yeah,
Stuff like that. So now you're gonna be like, hey man, you know what? I just Lysoled my car keys again for the 10th time, and I'm gonna scrub this doorknob because you never know. Like
yeah,
are our kids gonna grow up with that, or they're gonna like even kids now. Like a lot of kids haven't left their neighborhoods or their homes in like weeks. So
yeah,
what kind of impact is that going to have on them? Anybody really, but kids specifically, as they go forward. Like, are they going to be always afraid to shake somebody's hand? Is that even going to be something that's going to happen on the road? Are they going to, wear a mask every time they go into a Walmart for the next 20 years? And what's that going to do to them? Like, you don't know. But it is a social, like it's an experiment, right? It's never
yeah.
happened, so it's that weird thing,
I
right or
wanted
wrong.
to,
So,
I wanted to like they talk about like you need to get dirty to build up immunities and get germs. Pick your nose and eat it. Like it
yeah,
helps you build up immunities and stuff. And it's like now
yeah,
we're being told like scrub down and wash up. And So when this virus or the word virus makes me, I don't like saying it, but I get it. I know what it means. I know what it means. But this thing is like, if we sanitize ourselves to the bone for a certain amount of time, we become less immune to these things that can get at us because our immune system kind of becomes protected.
Yeah.
And the second wave comes through, and now nobody's got a barrier. It's like when it stops raining, you take your rain jacket off, it starts raining again, you get wet until you put your rain jacket back on again, right? It's just like a slower process.
Yeah.
So I wonder how that'll affect people. Like, if we're trying to, like, I follow it, but I mean, I'm starting to think like there's, and I always thought there's a need to get, eat dirt, get dirty and do things because you need to have the immune system built up to get that going. But if you stay too sanitized, which keeps you safe, but then you can't, it's hard to go back because that barrier's gone.
I think there's the fear element with this one. Because, you get the flu or something, you get sick, most of the time you're going to recover, right?
Yeah, right.
And if you don't do it on your own, you can go to the hospital and they'll help you, right? And it's like there's not a great risk that you're not going to make it. But I guess this time around people were just so like, whoa, like if it gets gnarly, like we can't help you,
Yeah.
We don't know what this thing is and we don't know how to help you. So I think that freaked people right out. I mean, it scares everybody, but
it's freaky for sure.
Yeah.
I think that thing is too with the flu. If you have the flu, you have the flu. Everyone pretty knows I have the flu. I guess this thing is like if you get the flu, maybe you feel like you have a cold, but you feel something. Yeah. It sounds like, and I don't know if it's right or wrong or not. I'm on the fence about a few things, but it sounds like in some aspects you can have it and not know. I don't think you can have the flu and not know. Like, you get a runny nose. Some things, like, you do get sick when you have the flu. There's no like.
It's a matter of degree, right? How sick do you get?
When you have sure. There's a degree. Yeah, sure.
But this thing, I mean, they say people had it and don't even know it. And who knows? Like, it could have ripped through here, February, December. Who knows? You don't know, right? And because they weren't testing anybody. I mean, the odds are, you just don't know, I guess, is the point. But
I think the lasting impact's going to be the economy is going to be a nightmare. But I don't want to get dark about that. I just think there's like.
Lots of good stuff happened. Like, there's all these people like shifting their businesses around to like, okay, so, no, we're never going to deliver. Now they deliver all the time, right? Or we'll never do takeout. Now they only do takeout. So now when it comes back, they'll have takeout and they'll have whatever. Or, home deliveries for like Home Depot do it. Canadian Tire does it. The grocery stores do it. Like, everyone's doing it. So I don't know
if it'll change the economy for sure.
It could make it, better.
It'll reset. It'll reset to different norms. Like, it won't be like if delivery becomes 20% more now than it used to be. Like, it'll keep that number of store. People still shop, but I think, man, I just want to there's people like me who are like, I'm happy to go and social distance and go to the store and do these things, but I'm also really wary of like the motivations. Like, this thing's real, but I think people take advantage of situations, like see what's gonna happen in the end. But I think it's teaching. It should be teaching people that there's more to be thankful for and more aware of. Yeah. Than just running through life and assuming you just like not looking around.
Well, that was the idea, that everyone would slow down and get a chance to look at what's really important, all that kind of stuff.
I have not slowed down. I'm way busy. It's so
right. Yeah. It's crazy. I know. I hear it. I didn't slow down that much, but I do a little bit. But we'll see, I guess, how people come out of this and how they react.
I've slowed down because I've slowed down outside of work, but work's busier. So like my slowing down is I don't have that same outlet.
Yeah, right. That's just hard to deal with, I'm sure.
Yeah, like if you're sitting at home all day doing nothing, that's probably tough to deal with. But your stress relief is more about anxiety and worry about what's going on. Where for like if my work got way busier, so now my stress relief doesn't exist because I can't.
You're just stressed all the time in your apartment.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But I don't know, Proctor. I think hopefully we can hang out soon, man, in person. We could probably. I don't know. I want to go for a bike ride, but I feel like I want to get yelled at or punched if I go Squamish for a ride or something. So
I don't think anyone's punching anybody, but there's weird. There's signs up, essential traffic only, and like the big construction signs and like police patrols. That one got me. I'm like, police patrols, and you could see people out roaming around, like cops out roaming around. You're like, no, they're not really hard about anything. But it's like really, it is weird. It is strange. So.
Just presence. There's some cops that roll through here like really slow. They roll through the house and I'm like,
well, your neighborhood's sketchy, man.
They're just chilling. Yeah, a bunch of old athletes here.
Yeah, no, I think it won't be long until like it looks like it'll be the next few weeks. They'll be loosening things up again.
Yeah,
for that type of stuff to get people out. So yeah, riding for sure. Riding will be good. Trails are good, I hear. I haven't been out in a while, but
yeah, I was doing some wheelies today. I'm getting better, man.
Nice.
Yeah, I was out doing. Jeff and I went for some wheelies, took some pictures and flowers.
That's pretty good.
And, talked some shit, talked conspiracies, and then talked what's right or wrong, and then biked home. But
nice. That's a good day.
Proctor. We've been like an hour now, and I think
good.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm not ending it because I feel like we shouldn't talk anymore. But
part 2. Stay tuned. Everyone should stay tuned for the next episode.
Part 3 coming up soon. Yeah.
About 6 months apart. You gotta wait for it.
Actually, no, dude. We haven't. This thing was like it's been like 2 years since I started this thing.
Get out, really? That's pretty good.
Yeah, dude. I've just been slow doing them. It took a long time. It's been a long time, man.
Yeah.
But no, Proctor, it's good to talk, and I think it's made me realize like I miss my family more than I think. You just get caught into things and you just kind of run and stuff, and it's been good. I think it's just the connection, even though it's digital. We've been connecting more than I think we normally would, and it's good.
Yeah, you get thankful for the technology thing. It's good. I mean, it would be pretty hard if people didn't have that for sure.
Yeah.
The old school.
Okay. Yeah, well, I'm gonna do some work, and I'm gonna try to watch some comedy and make myself make some laughter here. I think, because I think it's good for everybody.
Yeah, well, that's good. Thanks for setting it up.
Yeah, man. Thanks for being game for it, man. It's cool. It's stoked to talk to you for sure. It's awesome. I think it's like, I know we probably just talk shit. We're mostly talking about the virus, but I think it's funny. Like, what makes me laugh is people always say, we talked about it before. Again, we're talking about the same thing that's funny is we coach with the Proctor. And I think
it's the family resemblance. People can't get over it. They're like, you guys are identical.
Yeah.
How did that happen?
Yeah, we sound the same. I don't think we sound the same anymore. We used to, for sure.
Yeah. Well,
I gotta catch up to you. All right, Proctor. Well, I'm just gonna hit pause. I'm gonna just hit. I'm gonna hit stop recording. Let's just chat for a second.
Okay. You got it.